This is my like fourth attempt at an intro because my cat keeps running up and down the hall out there and distracting me. She's very loud. Anyway, hi everyone. Welcome to the Stash-down Diaries. My name is Jen, and on this YouTube channel I talk all about my knitting projects and plans with a focus on knitting for my stash, although I am not on a complete no-buy. Occasionally I do have acquisitions. None today though. Today is February 26th. I am coming to you from beautiful Cape Breton Island, which is part of the province of Nova Scotia in Atlantic Canada. And we're having a little bit of a rainy day today here, which is very welcome. Yesterday I thought I was going to be able to chip back some of the snow piled at the end of my driveway because it got super narrow. But even though it was like plus 6 degrees, it was still not melty enough to soften it up. So I did get a little bit, like a few inches on either side, which is an improvement, and then it melted a bit today, so it is a lot better. But anyway, yeah, that was a little side quest into snowbanks. I hope you had a great week. I left you off last week with some goals that I had. I did not meet all of those goals, and some of them will be pushed over into the following week. I, on Friday, discovered a food enemy that I didn't know I had, which is red onions. So yeah, we went out to eat for my father's birthday, which was the week before. And yeah, apparently I can't eat red onions. So I was not doing a heck of a lot of knitting on the weekend after that because I was very uncomfortable. I did start to come around midday Saturday, which had to because I had to go to town and run my errands before I drove back home. So anyway, to make myself feel better though, I did go thrift shopping for books and I found some good ones. So anyway, I didn't get a whole lot of knitting done. I didn't feel like reading either actually, so I fell behind on my reading. But it's fine. Like some things will get scooched, the goals will be scooched over to next week. And what are those? I didn't touch my warm-up sweater, so my goal was to have half of a sleeve done. That did not occur. I didn't touch the warm-up sweater at all. I think I already said that. So that will get pushed over to next week. And another one was to finish my scraw bucket, which I did not do. I worked on it, but I did not finish it. You will see my progress on that. And my other one was to have a ball of yarn completed on my jelly roll, which I didn't touch my jelly roll either. So that one's getting pushed over. I did do new cast-ons earlier in the week last week before this whole thing occurred. But yeah, one goal that I did meet is that I have a finished object, and that is the fairground socks. I do have to cut the ends. They're woven in, they are blocked. The ends just need to be cut. So the fairground socks is a pattern by KF Jones. It is one that you lovely people in the comments section of my favorite sock knitting patterns and yarns suggested to me for self-striping socks, and it is fabulous. Look at it. Just look at it. I enjoy that very much. It is going to become one of my staples for knitting self-striping yarns. So this one and heel toe do-si-do will probably be a couple of the main ones that I use. There are others I've seen that I have not tried yet, which I will try. So yeah. The yarn is West Yorkshire Spinner Signature 4-ply in the Passion Fruit Cooler colorway, although I call it my vineyard socks. Well, they're not my socks, they're a gift, so they're not for me. I always knit my socks, the 4-plies, on a 2.25 millimeter needle. I usually do 64 stitches cast on. I do magic loop. I do a heel flapping gusset because I find that's the one that fits the best for me anyway. I haven't asked the people I knit for. I think it fits them all well. I do like doing a short row heel, but it just, and I have done the little flap. I have done that. I tried that. Didn't work out great for my feet. But I do really like the heel flapping gusset. I don't mind knitting it anymore. It's just autopilot now because I've knit it so many times. But yeah, so 2x2 rip for the cuff as usual. And that is those. So now I will get into my works in progress, and I do have 2 new cast-ons as part of that. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, I will show you how far I got on my Scraw Bucket bag. So Scraw Bucket is a pattern by Teresa Liu, and it is normally knit holding fingering weight together, fingering weight scraps. I am doing it bigger. I want a bigger bag. So I went up a needle size, or multiple needle sizes, I can't remember. And I'm using worsted weight or DK weight held double. So I actually don't remember where I was the last time. I know I was past the welt. I might have been like here. But this is how much I got done. I finished the side and then I started the bottom. So this here, these are worsted weight yarns. And from here down, it's DK weight held double. This is going to be the side that's on the outside. And then I went back to a worsted weight on the bottom because I kind of want to use up that yarn. That is Cascade Wave that has been hanging out for a bit. So it's not, in terms of my stash, it's not that old really. It's just, I don't know. It'd be nice to finish that off. And then if that doesn't make it to the finish, then I have options in here. So yeah. So that was a goal, was to finish the bag, and I probably would have if I was not feeling so terrible. But what can you do? Yeah, so it's going to be, this part is going to be on the inside. And the other thing too about this, I don't know how I did it, but one of the welts is way longer than the other. I do not know what happened there. I'll show you. Actually, you can see it better this way. Ta-da! Like, look at that. I don't know what happened. It's for me, so yeah. I might knit some of these as gifts in the future. I have a cat hair in my nose, so I keep... Maisie is in her kitty condo now. Now that her sister has settled in the hallway, she's gonna settle, but... Anyway, yeah, it's for me. I might knit some of these as gifts, and I will do a much better job on it. This will be the test round of it, and I will not make as many mistakes like this purl ridge right here. But it is, yeah, I do really like it. Look at that. That's so fun. So that is the Scraw Bucket bag. So let's talk socks. More socks. So this was one of my cast-ons earlier last week. It is another pair of heavy socks. One of my coworkers really wants a new pair, so I cast on these ones. So this is heavy socks by Briggs and Little. Those are, I'm gonna try not to make them tingle. I use Briggs & Little Tuffy yarn. I'm trying to knit through this basket of Tuffy right here and knit a bunch of socks. The colors, I'm going to take that out so it's not tangling. So this bag, this is a Fringe Supply Co. bag, and I keep everything for knitting these socks in here, including the needles and the needle keeper. I have the needle keeper because these are wood needles, and at the size that they are, they're US 3s. They're very thin, and I have broken US 3 wooden ones before because they were not protected. And I have the notions in here for them. So all that stuff stays in here. The yarn gets switched out, but this is always my heavy sock bag. So I am using the colorway Green Mix and the Ecru and Granite. I'm gonna have to get more granite after if I want to use it, because I think that's the last of it. But that is the stripe pattern that I'm using for these. These are just a 2x2 rib all the way down. That is all they are. And when I do the heavy socks, I cast on 48 stitches. When I was first starting to knit different sizes for people, I had my friends knit some for my friends and had them wear them to kind of make sure the sizing was correct. Because I didn't want to like sell socks to people that didn't fit their feet. So yeah, this makes a lot of ends to weave in, but I don't mind weaving in ends anymore. I don't like, what is it that I don't like? Oh, baubles. I would rather weave in ends than knit baubles. So yeah, so I did cast this on, and then I got a little bit carried away. Like I wanted to get just the stripe section done, and then I started keeping going on the green section for a bit, and then I was like, Jen, you need to put this away because you have goals you have to meet this week. And so I did, and that is where I stopped. But yeah, then I tried to finish the goals, and red onions struck me down. So these ones you've already sort of seen. This was part of my like sock cast on a palooza for my gift knitting socks, and after having finished those, I started working on these gift knit socks. When you saw them, I hadn't decided on a pattern yet. I just sort of started the cuff, and I did decide on a pattern yesterday. Once I didn't finish my goals, like I knew I wasn't going to accomplish them, I was just like, yeah, I want to knit socks. So that is what I did yesterday instead of working on my scrawl bucket. I probably could have finished the body of the scrawl bucket and just not the I-cord string, but I wanted to knit socks, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it anyway. So the pattern that I decided on is called Vapor, and it is by Helen Stewart, and it is part of Handmade Sock Society from it was our third one, so it was from 2020. So this yarn is from Stash. It is Knit Picks Hawthorn Fingering, and the colorway is Kerns. And it is this nice like purpley taupey color. And you see it has this little lace pattern. There's going to be 2 panels of eyelets, like larger eyelets going down the sides. And a little bit of lace in the middle. And this is one that I have not knit yet. So I've been trying to knit sock patterns that I've purchased and haven't knit. And then the back is stockinette. The pattern is just on the front. So yeah, my typical 2.25 millimeter US 1 magic loop, 64 stitches. And yeah, so that's how far I got on that. I'll be able to see the pattern a little bit better probably next week when I record. So that is that one. I think that is it for socks for this week. Yes, it is. Okay. So guess what's back? Guess what we're doing again? So I'm going to get into my other cast on. Saltwater Stash-down is back. Isn't that exciting? I had to like pause it while I worked on Christmas stuff, and then the 12 days of cast-ons got underway. So I was like, it is now time to bring back Saltwater Stash-down. And I don't think I showed you this before, but I designated a bag for Saltwater Stash-down stuff. So here it is. This is my Tom Bin Swift bag that I bought years ago. I had been using it for a while for work, actually, and not knitting stuff. And then I switched up to a backpack for work stuff. And then this just kind of hung out down in my mudroom for a while. It does collect cat hair quite easily on that black strip right here. It's a little bit of a different canvas than the rest of it, so it like, yeah, the cat hair just like velcros to it. So I am keeping all of my Saltwater Stash-down stuff in here. Oh yeah, so I probably have a lot of newer people since the last time I did a Saltwater Stash-down project. So what Saltwater Stash-down is, I am knitting through the Saltwater knitting books. They are the books by Shirley LeGros and, no, I got that backwards. That's Christine LeGros and Shirley A. Scott. There's too much glare. Too much glare. There we go. Sort of. Nope. Here. Wait. Anyway, you get the gist. You get the gist. So there's 4 of these books with the 2 authors. There's the Splash Knits that I haven't got yet. That's just by Shirley. I don't know if I'm just gonna wait until I spot it in a yarn store to purchase it. I'm not gonna like order it or anything because gesturing around. I'm not in a rush. Yeah, so there's Saltwater Mittens, Saltwater Classics, Saltwater Gifts, and Saltwater Socks. Those are the original 4 books by both of these lovely knitters. So I am knitting through these books, like kind of, I'm calling it like round 1 is the first pattern each book, round 2 is the second pattern, and so on and so forth. But if I come across a pattern that I don't want to knit, like if it has bobbles, for example, or for some other reason, like I don't have the yarn in my stash because this is a Saltwater Stash-down. It is not meant for me to go and purchase more yarn. It is for me to knit through my Briggs and Little stash, of which I have quite a bit. But there are occasionally other ones that can be tossed in, especially in this book because there are some sock yarns. So now that I've done that little intro to it, I will tell you what I've been doing with this one. So the next pattern that I was supposed to knit is this one. These are whale tail socks. I did not have yarn in my stash to knit this. I would have otherwise knitted it, but I just didn't have the colors that I wanted to use. Like I have fingering weight yarn, but I like it just, they wouldn't look like this. Like I don't expect it to be exactly like this, like these colors, but I'd like, you know, something, you know, similar. So this pattern got skipped over. So I get to pick something else from the book. And what I'm doing is, oh no, where'd it go? I'm going to the hat pattern. Here it is. This is the Ship Shape watch cap because I want to stockpile some hats to donate next year in November. So anytime in this sock book that I am not going to knit the pattern that I am on, I am going to come back to this pattern and knit a hat. And then when I come to this round where this hat is, which probably won't happen this year because it's quite a ways down the book, I will knit it. The next pattern in the book, though, is one that I am going to knit. So I will get into the yarn. Yeah, so what I keep in this bag, I got this little Grocery Girls keychain stuck in here. I have the 2, this is designated for Saltwater Stash-down, this project bag, and this project bag is designated for Saltwater Stash-down. I do have to outfit the Notions pouch that goes with the Tom Bin Swift. It's got a cable needle and a very large darning needle, plastic one, tiny bit of yarn, and a hair elastic. So that has to be outfitted with scissors and stitch markers and all that fun stuff. And then I don't know if it was last summer or something, I decided that I wanted to designate needles for Saltwater Stash-down. And I started looking at purchasing the individual needles. Like I had some in another, like my interchangeable needles is what I was going to assign to it because they get a little bit neglected because I think I mentioned this before, the way my hands twist when I knit, I end up unscrewing them. So I don't use them as much. Sometimes they don't unscrew, but a lot of the time. So I went looking for the replacements needles of the sizes that I needed, and I needed more than I thought because I have broken some of the wooden interchange, like the size 7 cubics I've broken those. A couple in size 6 cubics, US 6. So anyway, that is what I had. So then it turned out it would be easier and more cost effective for me to just buy a set of needles, because I would go through and not all of the needles that I needed would be at one shop. So I would have been paying shipping for at least 2 different shops. I can't remember how many it was. So I decided to buy a set of interchangeables just for Saltwater Stash-down. Although they did get used. And I think there's one set. The 4mm are somewhere on something from the 12 Days of Cast On. So I got the Knit Prosings because I really like the non-interchangeable version. So this set stays in here. Oh, you know what? The ones they're on the project, the 4mm, they're on the project that I'm doing. So this one is not the project that I'm doing. It is the other one that is queued up, ready to go for the, I have 2 projects to do to finish this round. The one that's cast on and this one. So this one is just waiting in the wings to be cast on. I am going to accomplish my goals from last week, this week, before I cast that one on. And I'll probably work on this a little bit. I just wanted to get this up and boogieing. This bag came with the Swift, Tombin Swift bag. And I am using Briggs & Little Heritage. Now, just to refresh you, this is the ship-shape watch cap that I'm working on. Okay. So, oh, the needle's coming loose. No, it's not coming loose. It's going to drop stitches. So, Briggs & Little Heritage in the Horizon Blue colorway. And I'm going to alternate the sizes of the hats that I knit. Yes, Maisie, is that it? She's awake now. Now her sister is like settled in the thing. But she's sitting with her paws hanging off the futon. It's the cutest thing. She's such a little goof. Anyway, Horizon Blue. Ship shape watch cap. This is how much I have done. It is on 4.5mm needles. And all I wanted was to just get this going, because I find it a pain to like get ribbon going in the round. And hats. I think hats might be my least favorite thing to cast on. So anyway, so Saltwater Stash-down is back. Are you excited? I'm excited. Let me know if you're knitting from the Saltwater knitting books, because they're quite excellent. And yeah, so I have other things to talk about. Oh, speaking of like looking at books, one of the places I went thrifting books was at the library in Sydney. I went to look at their used book section, but then I went over to the knitting books. And I saw this one there. I've seen it online. I've seen it on Andrea's Instagram. And sometimes I like to get books from the library to see if I want to knit from them. And I went through this one. I really like it. There are different... Okay, well, first of all, look at these. Wouldn't these make fun coasters? Like a set of coasters for somebody? Like, kind of vintage looking. In, like, vintagey colors. Like that one in particular, like, kind of brought that to mind. But anyway, they're quite excellent. So there are a ton of different... I don't know how to do this without showing the chart. Okay, wait. No, I can't do it. There's like butterflies and owls. See? There's butterflies in the black on the top. Look at the bicycles. But anyway, yeah, so this one is super fun. This is one that if I saw it in a yarn shop, I would probably purchase it at this point, because I would like to use some of these for the tops of socks, like the cuffs of socks. I want to dabble in colorwork socks a little bit more. And yeah, so really enjoyed that one. I know she has another one out too that I'd like to have a look at. So I have a book on hold, Summer Lee's sock book. So when I get that, I'll show that to you too. Again, so speaking of books, one of the knit-alongs that I forgot to mention last week that I am participating in, it doesn't start until Saturday, March 1st, but it is Denise, who is Earth Tones Girl here on YouTube, and she is doing the I Love Books and Sock Knitting knit-along, which, hello, I think it's running till the end of May. I haven't decided, like, so works in progress are allowed, but when I cast on, yeah, so I'm going to cast on whatever socks I want, but the books, I might try to match the book covers to the socks, which could be fun. In March, I'm reading all like rainy day books that I've been putting off for my enjoyment, which I shouldn't be doing because I should be reading the books that I expect I'm going to really enjoy. But yeah, since March is my birthday month, I am celebrating by reading all of my like stockpiled rainy day reads. So yeah, so that is a knit-along, another knit-along that I am participating in. And I also completely forgot about Malabrigo March, which is not like me. I participate in Malabrigo March every year. Malabrigo March is a knit-along that the Malabrigo Junkies group holds every March in the Ravelry, Malabrigo Junkies Ravelry group. So if you use Ravelry and you love Malabrigo, you should go and check out the Malabrigo Junkies group. I will have it linked below. So I haven't done any planning for it. I think I'm not going to cast on too much this year. I'm thinking of targeting scraps again. I did that last year, and actually is one of my projects here. Yeah. So this is a little scrappy thingy that I made for my Oracle cards last year. So I think I'm going to go scrappy this year, except I think it's about time that I reknit my color affection. I frogged it. Like I finished it. I had it for a couple of years, or a few years, really. And then I frogged it with the intention of knitting it bigger because it just seems small to me compared to like other color affections that I've seen. And I was a newer knitter when I knitted it. So this was years ago. This was before like I had my current job, pretty sure. Like I used to come up from Sydney to Bedeck Yarns, and the color affection was one of the samples in the store. So I got the Malabrigo yarns, the Malabrigo lace and the Malabrigo silkpaca to knit it. And it didn't turn out as big as I'd like because I didn't know at the time that my gauge was kind of smaller. So I'm going to knit it on a bigger needle this time. And like there was lots of yarn left over, so I don't think I'll have an issue with running out of yarn or anything like that. So I think that's going to be my main Malabrigo March project, and then gnomes. Scrappy gnomes. And I think that's probably going to be it, because I've been trying not to purchase Malabrigo because I have a bucket of it, and I should just knit what I have. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do some planning tonight. I have to deal with my barn raising squares tonight as well, and I haven't figured that out yet. Remember I showed you the ball of just natural colored opal the other week there, to seam up all those blanket squares. So I have to lay them out again because I completely forgot. I did it before and I completely forgot how many I was going to knit to finish the blanket. And March is my last month of the theme of scrappy knitting. So wouldn't it be great if I finished a blanket that month? That would be awesome. So I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to lay that out. I am going to pick out my Malabrigo scraps and see what I come up with for possibly gnomes or other things. I might do just like coasters or something just to try to use the yarn up. Some of it might go in my scraw bucket, yes, if I don't finish that bottom, but I don't know. I think, is that all I was going to talk about? Yes, it is. So, yeah, I'm going to reboot the goals from last week. Hopefully I don't have any other food enemies that I am not aware of. So, yeah. Until next week, happy knitting. I hope you take care of yourselves. Oh, one thing too, Social media is kind of getting on my nerves because of, things going on in the world now and just being completely inundated with it. So instead of being on Facebook, I think I'm going to spend more time on Ravelry. So you might see me popping up in your groups and stuff a little bit more, and in other groups. So yeah, that is where I will be instead of Facebook. I still don't mind Instagram too much because the algorithm is doing its algorithm thing and just showing me comedy and knitting and animals and jokes about being a geriatric millennial. So, yay. We're gonna keep Instagram for now. Anyway, until next week, I hope you have a great week and are looking after yourselves and doing what is making you happy. And until then, take care.